You want to peek at it? Plus your nipples.
Gotta change my one.
Nope, not for your back.
Good.
All right.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you. All right, our apologies again for the delay. We had a 5-minute meeting, went into about an hour and a half meeting, so, but we had a good discussion. Apologies. We will note that all members are present, Alderman Stoyer, Alderman Scannell, Alderman Dwayne, and Alderman Weary. Can I have an approval of the agenda?
Move to approve. Second.
Okay, any changes? I know Alderman Wisbiski's here and had an item with probably majority of the people. Would you mind if 8 was moved up behind number 3?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Stoyer, second by Alderman Dwayne to move 8 behind number 3. Any other changes? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 3, approval of the minutes, March 7th, 2016.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Scannell, second by Alderman Stoyer. I do have one change here. The vote with the junk picker license, if you remember, we had that discussion. It was noted that Alderman Stoyer voted against it, Alderman Weary voted against it. So if we could just, I'll make a motion to make that change.
Second.
Any other changes? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 8, request for Alderman Wisbiski on behalf of a constituent to adopt a resolution supporting and recommending a 7-day custody period for abandoned or stray animals. Oh, I know we do have a couple pages in here. I just want, Alderman Wisbiski, I'll open it up for you. I just want to make two quick points. The state did already pass this, correct? So it's not something that's up for debate. It did pass, okay? And then secondly, cities or towns or villages can still keep it at 7. Correct, so it's just, it allows an option, okay. Attorney, did you have anything to weigh in on this, or?
No.
Okay. Alderman Wisbiski, did you?
Hey,
All
why don't
yours.
you put the horse before the cart. This came about almost the same day that this law went into effect. I got involved in a scramble with a dog who basically was picked up, and the people were trying to get their dog back. And they really weren't getting anywhere with getting the dog back. So they were told things that the dog was mean, the dog would bite, and he was really unruly and all this. And they maintained that there was nothing really wrong. This dog would never act like that. And it almost came right down to a police issue. And they finally got enough people together, and it just happened that it was in my jurisdiction, in my district. And I don't have enough excitement over there the way I do, but anyway, what they did is they finally, after all the scrambling, got their dog back. And folks, I'm gonna tell you something, they were past 4 days. That the people were ready to euthanize the dog. And I know all of you guys have been actually campaigning, most of you anyway. And somebody actually brought it up for me. Never used the phone.
Wow.
But anyway, somebody brought it up to me that the issue at hand was that the dog was going to be euthanized, backing up. And what they really did is they said, man alive, we can't get this done in 4 days, and the same time that law hit. I think that law hit the next day or whatever. Is there a window you can throw this out?
Good news.
You can tell I use my cell phone all the time, but
You call that a cell phone?
yeah.
He might
Well,
have
anyway, what they did is they got the dog back finally after much dissertation, and then when that law came through, I thought, wow, 4 days, that dog would have been gone. As I did the doors, getting back to that, I noticed there's more dogs than there are voters. And I thought, wow, we ought to keep these dogs. I mean, what a thing to do to go against dogs at this point in time, especially. Because you always get greeted at the door with 2, maybe sometimes 3, and you kind of turn the other way a little bit, but sometimes you think, oh, what's going on here? Maybe even many more. But I just thought that something had to be done. I checked with the Humane Society, or the Humane Officer, Sharon basically, and I told her what I had run into, and I went about my way to find out what I could do about changing this ruling basically. And I talked to legal, and legal actually put a resolution together for me. So on your desk today, you'll find something where I basically kind of jumped the gun. First of all, you come here, and then you have the resolution done. But I want to get that resolution in there because I thought it was very important. So you all have the resolution there. I think you all have some of the history that I provided. But I guess what I'm asking for at this point in time is your support to put this back to 7 days, and we are perfectly legal to do that because I think 4 days is completely unfair. Yes, it does work in some municipalities, but in the city of Green Bay, I don't believe that's fair. And I think we have an awful lot of animals out there that we don't want to be putting down actually 4 days. So that's why I'm here, guys. And I appreciate your thoughts and any support that you could give me on this. Thank you.
Questions for Alderman Wisbisky? Thank you, Alderman.
Okay.
Appreciate it. I'm sure there's other people here for this item as well.
Yeah, I believe there is. You
Motion
open up
open
the
the
floor,
floor.
I think you'll find out.
Yep.
Thank you.
Motion
Second.
to open the floor, Alderman Stroyer, second by Alderman Dwayne. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. If anyone's here for number 8, please just come up and give us your name and address. This is for the resolution supporting, recommending a 7-day custody period for abandoned or stray animals.
Name is Renee O. I live at N4397 County Highway CC in Shawano. I work at Packerland Veterinary Center. We would like to see the stray hold in the city of Green Bay stay at 7 days also. We have a lot of calls from owners that call and say, I'm missing my cat. He's usually gone for a couple days. He always comes home, but he didn't come home this time. A lot of times they don't start calling until day 4 on. In fact, I think the day Governor Walker signed this, we had 2 people call, one on the 4th day, one on the 7th day. So the animals already had been missing that long and they were just starting to call. We also have just a small amount of signatures that we got over the weekend that were also for, it's like a petition kind of on the order of what the alderman was saying for keeping it at 7 days. And there's a lot of people that we talked to at the Pet Expo that did not even know that it changed.
And if I could, Renee, I don't mean to interrupt, but I just
No.
wanted to clarify, what we're discussing today, because it's already been passed by the state, is a resolution asking
Right.
the state to change it back. We aren't setting any kind of guideline or precedent for the city. It's going to stay at 7 days, as far as I know, until the contract runs out. Am I correct on that?
I
There has
think,
been no move on the city's part?
I think we'll maybe clarify the statute, but it looks like the statute doesn't prohibit you from staying at 7, and that's one thing we'll have to clarify, whether or not we can, you can choose to stay at 7.
So right now, we were at 7. Did it just stay at 7, or because of the new state law, did it drop to 4, and you have to put it back up to 7?
Well, I think it's at 4 across the board for every humane society in the state, and if it's your policy to stay at 7, that's your policy to choose what to do.
Yeah, we just feel it's fair, better for the citizens, especially for the citizens of Green Bay to have that extra few days.
So
for
our
the-
attorney feels that it went down to 4. You hold the current contract, right?
Right.
Packerline, and
Right.
it's your policy that you'll keep it at 7 until the contract ends? Okay. I did see a couple hands in the back. Alderman Wisbisky, anything to
I
add?
just wanted to interject that at the same time I found out about the law, got involved in this, lo and behold, it was actually, the contract was going to be coming up in May. And so the time frame just kept on zeroing in on this mysteriously of going to 4 days to follow what the governor actually had put in effect. And our goal is to keep it at 7, you're right.
Appreciate it, Alderman. Alderman Moore?
Yeah, just 2 things. First, I believe the law states that it's reducing it from a minimum of 7 to a minimum of 4. So we could choose anything from 4 to 100 days if we want to. It's our own city that's going to be doing this. Yes, we can appeal to the state to put it back to 7, but it doesn't really matter if we keep it at 7, we keep it at 7. And 7 is a number that you're comfortable with. I mean, with what you're handling right now as far as the intake of
Oh,
animals.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, and then, so my second part of that question was, if we were to reduce it, say, to 6, and you just knock the 1 day off, what kind of cost savings would you see for the city going from 7 days to 6 days?
Well, I
That-
think,
Obviously, that's the reason the law was put in place, so that municipalities can adjust it the way they want to adjust it as a cost savings measure.
I thought it was more of a life-saving.
And my apologies,
to-
Alderman Moore, but we're going to redirect that question back to the council. So if you want to answer it, that's perfectly fine, but address it to the committee.
Right, please.
No,
Sorry.
thank you.
Okay.
You talk to us.
Yeah.
Answer this
Oh,
question.
I'm sorry.
No, that's right.
Um,
He's asking the question, but always
From what
kinda-
I understood of the law, it wasn't supposed to be a cost saving, it was supposed to be a life saving, that they could move the animals through at a quicker pace to let other ones come in. We just feel like the 7 days, I mean, basically, most of our cost goes into the first couple of days where you're treating any medical issues, you're doing the vaccines, you're doing, you know, anything medically to them. The other ones are basically just the whole time.
Alderman Scannell?
Well, just, I have a question for legal, so we should wait till after.
Is it something to clarify what we're discussing?
Yeah,
Or- then ask it
okay,
so that we can
it
keep.
was something he said just earlier. The law reduces it to 4, but that would not, I mean, we have a contract that says 7. It doesn't trump that contract, does it?
I believe right now it would trump the contract.
It trumps the contract.
And I'll have to get back to you on that.
Okay.
Alderman Scott, I'll get back to you on that. But I believe though, because it just changed, it would, I guess there's some gray areas with that. But it's, going forward, I believe we could contract for more days if we wanted
Well,
to.
certainly,
But right
but-
now, I guess it's kind of in the air whether or not the contract, I mean, you can make arguments one way or the other. I guess it is a binding contract, but we're also binding them to do something that's, you know, state law or against state law. so.
Okay.
Alderman Strayer, and then we'll go to.
Renee, hi. So are you saying that, I mean, you're in favor of the 7-day period? Are you saying right now that there are citizens that they may be missing their pet for 4 days and then they'll call in? And are you saying that that would be day 1 for you in terms of the waiting period, or, you know, I'm trying to clarify that in
I'm
my
saying that
mind.
we have a history of people that don't even start looking for their pet until day 4 and beyond, and it would already be gone. Their stray hold would be
So-
done.
I guess I would ask our attorneys as well to clarify that, if that's something that we need to deal with as far as when an animal is reported missing. Does it come from day 1 when it's missing, or when it's reported? I would presume when it's reported.
And I think you might be able to answer this as well, as I believe, once the animal comes into the Humane Society, that's day 1.
That's day 1.
And I think they don't count, it's kind of like the rabies bite hold, they don't count day 1 because that's a partial day.
Mhm.
So it's the
The
day
full-
after.
first full day.
First full day, exactly.
Okay.
Thank you, Alderman Strayer.
Yeah.
We'll take some committee questions, and I know Alderman Dwayne, your hand was up. Alderman Dwayne?
Thanks for coming in, Renee.
Okay.
We just were in a meeting, you can stay up here.
If you don't
We were
mind.
just in a meeting where a bill was passed at 3 o'clock in the morning. Why do you think this bill was changed to 4? And I'm gonna ask other people that too. Did you hear anything?
Well, just from what I have been reading, it started out being a bill that was for animals that were held for legal reasons, and they were being held for years. So it started out being a bill so these animals wouldn't have to be held while their owners went through the legal process, and it ended up that some of the bigger shelters trailed onto the end of that to lessen the hold, for whatever reason. They say to be able to circulate the animals through quicker and get them into homes.
And I have one more question. After 7 days, what happens to the animals?
With us?
Yes, or anyone.
Well, you know, in most shelters, on the 8th day, they can be placed, they can be euthanized, they can be forwarded to other rescues and shelters. Ours, as you guys would know, have to go to the Humane Society.
Thank you.
Would that 7-day period, if you went to another shelter, would that 7 days kick in for that shelter then?
No.
Okay. Just, it's a 7-day.
no.
Council President Tom Dwayne?
Yeah, okay. We were at that legislative breakfast meeting this weekend, and I talked to a couple of the representatives for us. A lot of the bigger municipalities fought against the longer term because there was cost savings to some of them. They all had a different reason on why they would do it. The only way this would affect us is the change from 7 to 4. It might make a difference what the city might have to pay. Instead of up to 7, we're only mandatory to pay up to 4. That might come into effect. But as far as keeping them longer than 4, that bill has nothing to do with that. Whether it's Humane Society, Packerland, they can keep it up to 7 days. They don't have to send them off. It's how they feel, no matter who has this. And that's the way I was explained at the four different reps I talked to about it. They all gave a little bit of different answer. And the only way it comes into play with Green Bay is the cost of what we might have to pay.
Thank you. Do you have any comments, Ms. O? Any questions? Appreciate it, thank you. Anyone else here for this item? Anybody else? All right, without objection, we'll return back up here.
So moved.
What are your wishes, gentlemen?
So moved.
Well, I
Did it without
we just came from a big meeting where the state is taking power away from the municipalities, and now here the state's giving municipalities more power, and we don't want it. I think, I agree with the 7-day hold. I like the 7-day hold. I think I'm hoping that's what the city will stay with. I'm gonna push for that. But I don't know that I want to send a resolution back to the state saying, you're giving us this power, no thanks. I mean, I don't want to speak for other municipalities. Maybe this would be a good thing for another municipality. I don't know. I don't want to take that out of their hands. So I don't support the resolution. I think the more power you can give to local control, the better. And for us, I think 7 days is a good mark that we should stick with. It's been our traditional mark. There seems to be support for staying with that. But as far as a resolution to the state to say, thanks for this empowerment, but no thanks, I can't support that, so.
Thank you, Alderman Scanlon. Alderman Steuer?
Thank you, Chair. Can I ask Sharon, can I ask you what your take is on this? Or can you do that?
Well, without objection, I'm going to open the floor for...
Well, okay, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose she would be staff, technically. Yeah, we don't
Yeah,
have
she'd be staff.
humane
Yeah.
officer, Sharon Henson.
Sorry.
You're right.
I was hoping.
She wasn't dressed as a humane officer, so it threw me off.
I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
incognito.
You're always,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
you're
was very
always in.
You were
supportive.
slouching, I saw that.
Cutting it to 4 is absolutely crazy. That's so scary. Because number one, you don't count the first day, but they include Saturdays in it. They don't include Sundays or holidays. But if you pick up a dog on Monday, you don't count Monday. Count Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Come Saturday, it can be adopted, it can be shipped out. And I think one of the big arguments that I remember hearing about a year ago was that animals were being shipped out of the city and they were going to other shelters, you know? So it ended up supposedly keeping it here. Well, at this point, any shelter can ship them out anywhere they want on day 5. They don't euthanize until day 7 unless there's that stipulation. It's a safety issue, okay, or the animal is medically sick, beyond terminal type thing. That again is up to the discretion of whoever looks at it as being safety issue or not, okay? So staying at 7 at least gives us a little bit, a better, getting it back home, more power to do something with the animal instead. Now, I understand the state stays at 4, that's fine. We can't go to 2, but we can definitely stay at 7. And it's not really a cost issue, it's a humane issue. So every single person I've talked to in the city about going from 7 to 4 has been absolutely freaked out. So,
You mind taking a question, Alderman Rozbisky? Do you have a question? Or-
Because we just came out of what we just came out of, Alderman Scannell might be right. Maybe the resolution's too strong, but boy, I'm gonna tell you, let's get this in writing somewhere, and it might be at contract time, that the city insists that it stays at 7. And now, I don't know if you have to send a note to the state so that everybody's clear or not, but yes, I would agree with them, that maybe the resolution's too strong, we don't have to go that route. But boy, I'll tell you, I will not put a price on any animal, we're talking about dogs, cats, everything, of saying that, hey, let's make it 4 days, we can save $10. Wow, that's kind of neat, but no, we can't.
Thank you, Alderman.
I don't know probably what the vehicle is and how we get there, but I'm just saying, let's make it clear and let's go with it, okay?
we wouldn't be the first ones. Appleton is refusing to go to 4. Fox Valley Humane, they're staying at 7.
Well,
So,
Are there
the
also,
state doesn't say we have to, so we
right,
can.
so
yeah.
they're choosing to stay at 7.
Does it become a resolution maybe, or?
Okay, yeah.
Alderman Nennig, your hand.
Isn't there some advantage to uniformity? Dogs and any animal, animals do cross municipal boundaries. And if one municipality has 4, another might have 5, another might have 7. To me, that's confusing for the public. And, you know, I certainly agree that I like local control, but, you know, if it ends up with something that's not uniform, it will confuse the public. You know, I don't know that that's really a good idea. So I would urge you to pass the resolution. I don't know if the legislature is going to change it or not, but, you know, that's a way of having uniform.
Oh, I see.
Thank you, Alderman Ennick. Alderman Stoyer?
Thank you, Chair. With that being just said, Sharon, I was just going to ask, I mean, in your expertise with this, do you find that there are communities that have 4 days, some have 7, some have more? I mean, what is, just in your experience, what is the
Well-
tendency throughout maybe northeast Wisconsin and beyond maybe a little bit?
I think the bigger cities are gonna probably push to 4, just because they have a larger number to deal with.
Okay.
But the smaller places, they wanna stay at the 7. They really do. They wanna have that right to be able to choose to stay at that 7.
But you don't know of any that are more than 7? Generally, 7 would be top
That is entirely the choice of the shelter.
of the shelter?
Yep. And another thing, this is, I just want you to kind of keep an eye on this, and I'm pretty sure Jerry found this out. I learned about this when I went to check on the Monday prior to the Tuesday of being signed. It was signed into law Tuesday. I learned about it Monday when I went to see how the bill that I was sponsoring, in what order it was, and I came across this one, and I read it. And then I started doing research and found out that this was something that was kept kind of behind closed doors. They didn't want the general public to find out that they were cutting it down to 4 days. So it was kept behind closed doors and kind of, you know, meandered through. So when Tuesday came and the governor decided, you know, that he was signing all these bills, there was still a lot of controversy right there on that floor from, you know, humane agents that basically said this wasn't done the right way. So
So I take it you are in full support of the resolution?
I'm full support of staying 7, that's for sure.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, Alderman Scanlon?
For a larger city, if you were working in a larger city, do you think going to 4 would be a benefit to them, having that option?
If the bill, okay, let's look at it this way. If the bill had stayed the way the bill was supposed to be, and not somebody got a hold of it and added strays to it, okay? That was something that was brought in on the back end. This bill was designed for, like Renee said, animals that were being held for a significant length of time. Predominantly, the dogs pulled out of dogfighting rings because they were being kept in the shelters and they weren't being allowed to do anything with them because they were under police hold, okay? What the bill was intended for, and if you read the original bill, it was intended to allow the shelters to give them the power to do something with these animals. The owners had a right to file an appeal, written appeal within 30 days. But at the end of the 30 days, the animal then became the property of the shelter for them to do with that animal. Some of these animals were literally in shelters for over a year, and that was evidence from dogfighting rings. So that's how this bill came about. And then some other people came in and said, well, that would be a great thing for strays too. And they just kind of brought it in.
Thank you. Any other questions for Humane Officer?
We have a
Anything else,
copy
sir?
of the original bill in the letter if you'd like to really read it.
I think for another time.
Am I done?
Couple, do you have anything else? No, thank you.
I'm done.
Yeah, thank you, Sharon.
Anybody else for the Senate? That's right, we're in closed session. What are your wishes, gentlemen? Do you have
I'm in
a,
favor of this resolution.
Alderman Dwayne, your,
I'll make
was
a
that a motion?
Motion approved.
Alderman Tim Dwayne, motion to approve the
I'll second.
resolution,
I'll second.
seconded by Alderman Stoyer, under discussion. Alderman Scannell.
Since it seems to stick particularly to strays, the resolution, I think I could perhaps support this as well. It does seem an odd thing to be doing in some ways. But,
We're in government.
yeah, we're in government, we can do it. Uniformity, I think, is a persuasive argument, but, you know, municipalities have all kinds of varying laws where they change and people have to adjust, so I don't know. But given the background now, what the law was intended originally and what ended up happening to it. And this seems to take the stray aspect of it, which was added on, and says we should pull that out. I can support that. So,
All right, any other discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, 4-0. And I was remiss in stating, this goes to council, everything we do tonight goes to council, which is in 2 weeks. So it's, and it's not on a Tuesday, it's on a Wednesday because of the election. So it's Wednesday, April 6th, 7 PM. So whatever we recommend here will go to council in 2 weeks.
it's too late, we already voted.
Do you want to,
Could we reconsider? I'd like to make a motion. Can we add an amendment?
you certainly can. Motion to reconsider by Alderman Scannell,
Second.
second by Alderman Steuer. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. All right, that issue is back on.
I would like to make an amendment that the city of Green Bay, that this committee recommends the city of Green Bay stay with a 7-day stay.
So the original motion would still be here by Alderman Dwayne and Alderman Steuer to approve the resolution, and Alderman Scannell is asking we amend it to endorse or encourage the city with its current and in future contracts to stay at 7 days.
Mhm.
No, I mean, that discussion's going to come up
Is there a second?
for discussion.
All right, second by Alderman Steuer, discussion.
I mean, well, so you're making a recommendation for this committee ahead of the
Yeah.
fact that we're going to be looking at this stuff in the
My
future.
apologies, but yeah, I'm going to separate it, actually, if that's okay. Let's keep the resolution separate.
Separate?
Yes,
That passed. Okay.
yeah,
Is it appropriate to make another motion for the agenda item?
it's not,
Perhaps not.
I don't think so, no.
No.
Should
okay.
should that be a future communication?
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, future
It'll be
communication.
future
For a
okay.
future P and W?
Well, since it is going to come up again, I
That's
suppose
fine.
we can deal with it then. I just thought it'd be, but it's
think
not
it's
appropriate to
out of order?
amend it, and so, no.
I think it'd be easier,
Okay.
because it'll come up later down the road. just
Yep,
like-
yep, yep, yep.
All right then, we'll just reiterate our vote. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm sure we'll be seeing this item in the contract very soon. That's always fun. Number 4, application for a Class B combination license by LM Capital LLC at 301 South Broadway, formerly Crunchy Frog, held up at last meeting. Oh boy. Is there anyone here for items 5 or 6? I don't think we have issues with those, do we? Anyone here for items 5 or 6 and doozies? No? Okay, or, okay, good, just want to make sure.
No one here? Okay.
Are you here, which item are you here for, sir?
I'm here for 6.
Okay.
Do we-
If it's all right with the committee, and sir, I apologize, yours might take a little bit longer.
Oh, that's okay.
And the other ones are fairly simple things
So we'll
unless you...
get to them quickly.
Well, if the committee's okay, we're going to take 5 and 6 and then go to 4.
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Steuer, second by Alderman Scannell to take 5, 6.
No, 6, 7. Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Five.
Anyone here for 7?
Yeah.
Okay, well, 5, 6, 7, then 4. 4 will have the most
So
discussion.
moved.
Okay. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Number 5, request by the owners of Anduzzi's, 900 Kepler, to hold an outdoor event July 22nd to the 24th, music till 11:30 on July 23rd. Attorney?
We have no objections to it. A lot of them do.
Okay.
Police don't have any objections either.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Scannell, second by Alderman Steuer to approve. I know I had a good description and a map and everything was in here, so no problems in the past. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, motion carried. Those approved? You don't have to go, though. Oh, that's why you're here for a different one.
I'm 6.
That's right, okay, now we're at 6. You have to stay. Application for an available Class B combination license by LVP SHS, Green Bay Holding Corporation, 1011 Canadale, currently Green Bay CS Hotel Group, who holds a reserve license.
The law department has no objection.
We have no objections either.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Alderman Scannell, second by Alderman Steuer. Under discussion. Those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. Was approved. Thank you, sir. Like I said, you don't have to go, though. You can stay. Number 7 is request by Alderman Nenning to allow the Art Garage to have up to 4 mobile food vendors on their property for a special event April 21st, 2016.
We have a
Anything to state, or
gentleman.
do we want to hand it off to?
Oh,
Okay, Alderman Ennick?
Well, we have a
yours.
gentleman here who can answer your questions. I think this is the first one since the mobile food ordinance, food truck ordinance was adopted by the council. The ordinance does state that upon application and approval from the Protection and Welfare Committee, the owner of private property may allow more than 2 mobile food establishments to conduct business on said property during the normal hours of operation. So I think they have a good thing here. I don't know how many of you have attended the gallery night, but basically during gallery night, they'd like to have up to 4 food vendors in the parking lot next to the art garage. It's in my district. It's not close to any restaurants or other establishments, so I would be supportive of it.
Any questions for Alderman Ennick?
No, you're gonna be manning one of the booths.
I'd like to hear from,
No. Any-
Oh, I have no objection, or the law department has no objection.
Green Bay Police doesn't have any
As
objection.
long as there's a donut vendor.
yep, motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Scannell, second by Alderman Steuer to approve. Discussion? Alderman Dwayne? Oh, okay, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Good luck. And
Now.
Number 8, thank you for waiting. I'm sorry, number 4. Getting lost on one agenda here. Application for a Class B combination license by LM Capital, 301 South Broadway, formerly Crunchy Frog. We held this up from our last meeting, and attorney.
The law department would recommend that we deny this, but I would defer to the police department. I believe it's Officer Shada. Speak on
Okay.
this.
Officer, did you want to? I think we're going to hear from our staff, and then we'll open it up for.
Evening, gentlemen. The reason I requested the deferral from our department through the captain was Mr. Walter Elgar used to own Coco's Bar downtown. As I stated in the earlier meeting last week or the week before, there had been issues at that bar. I attempted to get the calls for service from the county. They are archived. All they could send me was a bunch of numbers, which I'm not able to open the call. I can't tell what the call was, what happened, if it was against the bar or if it was a different bar. So I'm unable to give you that information. But I did talk to Officer Blindauer today while we were sitting at a different court case in circuit court. And he told me Mr. Melgar is a very well-spoken person, but he even said that Mr. Melgar should not probably operate a bar due to the past problems. Officer Blindauer is the officer that worked with Mr. Melgar at that time. There had been numerous fights. There had been issues with, he called it a patio or something where underage people were getting in and loitering at times. And there were several citations for underage people loitering at the bar. There was one substantial battery that I know happened at the bar. So there were significant issues. Right now, Mr. Melgar runs a restaurant which has a liquor license to serve alcohol, but running a restaurant with serving beer and wine is different than a bar. Your primary concern is alcohol. And the other issues I had told you about earlier were when you look into his past for CCAP, the Wisconsin Circuit Court Access, there was numerous income tax issues, which a majority had been cleared up, but there are 3 outstanding right now, and it appears as one is for the restaurant in excess of $30,000. So, you know, I don't know if he would be a good fit for a bar at this time with some of these past issues and the issues that are present.
Questions for officer?
Thank you, officer, coming in on this. You know, a lot of times we'll get a sheet with charges, et cetera, and, you know, there's a number of things that were dismissed here as well. So I'm just trying to look at the clarity or the severity of something like this, as far as some of that. I mean, when you get a dismissed case status, I know that's out of your jurisdiction, you know, you're not a judge, but when you see something like this, do you does that alter your opinion a little bit, or after the fact, or is it?
No, not after talking with Officer Blindauer.
Okay.
He worked with Mr. Melgar on it. I'm going to take another officer's word on what his decision would be. And it could be dismissed for any of multiple reasons.
Yeah.
And like I said, unfortunately, I can't bring up the call volume that happened there to give you more numbers, but,
Well, I guess, that's my concern too. And if legal could chip in on this, as far as, are there any felonies or any other criminal situations besides this sheet here? A lot of times when somebody's applying, we tend to get a sheet above and beyond possibly. Is there anything else that we can look at?
Well, one thing is, I think Attorney Bonner gave you guys a sheet last week, and my understanding would be if this is all she gave you, that there won't be any felonies out there. I think the main concern would be the selling alcohol to underage. I think there was one, is that what this is? Or
there was one for maintaining a public nuisance, and one for public nuisance, one of two which was dismissed.
yeah, there were a couple that were dismissed that were alcohol related, but then there were a few that were found guilty with sale of alcohol without a license, operating while intoxicated, things like that would I think would raise some issues with it.
So you saw if there's some kind of a pattern, there seems to be a little bit of that.
Mhm.
So, okay. All right, that's all I have right now.
Captain?
I just have a question for him. Did Blindauer go into the amount of calls that were there and how much time they spent on trying to take care of the problem?
Officer Blindauer did not go into that time. And Mr. Melgar, if I was told correctly, only owned the bar or rented that space for under a 2-year time frame, and it seemed to escalate, and then he did not, or was unable to renew his license because the owner of the building took over a bar or something to that effect. Mr. Melgar would have to answer that. I'm not able to look that up. We don't have any reports with that information in it.
Alderman Dwayne, did you have?
You were talking about back taxes. I wasn't writing that things down. Can you just repeat that?
Well, when you go into CCAP,
Yeah.
are you familiar with CCAP?
Yeah, oh yeah.
It says income tax.
Legally.
Yes. It said income tax, IRS filed, and you go in and it shows dollar amounts that are owed. And it says satisfied yes or no. Well, if it's satisfied yes, he took care of it. Well, there's 3 outstanding right now that are not satisfied, or were not as of the last time I spoke to you guys.
Did you mention 130,000?
One is in excess of $30,000.
Thank you, officer.
He is also, that one has multiple creditors, but it shows his name on it. So I don't know if that's for the restaurant or who it's for. I wasn't able to determine that. You'll have to answer that.
Any other questions for officer? Anything else, officer?
No, not right.
Thank you, appreciate
Great,
it.
thank you. Make a motion, open the floor.
Motion by Alderman Stoyer,
Second.
second by Alderman Dwayne. Open the floor under discussion. Did you have a question before we open the floor?
I'd have a question before we open the floor, if we
Okay,
could.
we'll leave the motion on there, but
With, there was an investigation. We know I'm assuming that investigation is finished, otherwise we wouldn't be hearing this, that's why we held it up. Can we have the results of that? We
On
need
this,
to-
no, that was for Nick's Bar. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
There's an investigation on Nick's Bar.
That's
Am I confusing?
This was held up because Mr. Melgar, is that what it is? Didn't show up
I'm
the last
sorry.
time because he had some kind of,
that was,
something that he had to do.
All right,
That was-
that was the, yeah, okay. Thank you, sorry.
those in favor, open the floor. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Mr. Melgar?
Yeah.
Yep. This time we won't make you move.
Oh, that's okay, that's fine. Yeah,
Name and address.
Just your name and address, please.
Walter Melgar, 283 Finger Road, Green Bay, Wisconsin, 54311.
Floor is yours. Why should you have a bar on Broadway?
Well,
And if you can answer any questions about, obviously, Cocos,
yes.
because I remember Cocos
I'm gonna
very well.
start with the tax liens and everything. I'm working with the IRS. I have a monthly payment that I pay in Zoom to get all that caught up. And once, I'm done with one Zoom, then the other one jumps in. So I'm trying to fix that up. Back in the days, when I owned Cocos, I was 27 years old, and I owned different businesses, not only in Wisconsin, but outside Wisconsin. And when the economy crashed down, I literally crashed down with the economy. And, just when you have a lot, it's based on the economy, you lose a lot, and it's really hard to recuperate from that. I'm almost 40 years old now, I'm 39. I did learn a lot, and I know when I run Cocos, maybe I was too young, I was a chef, and I make a lot of mistakes. I was there 24/7 when I was there, but maybe I didn't manage the way, I didn't have the full experience of the bar. And I know owning or running a bar is not an easy task. It's really, really delicate business, and I understand what it comes with. I know, and like the officers say, right now I own a restaurant. I own it for 2 years. It's a Seal Waterfront restaurant, which holds a beer and wine combined liquor license at this point in Green Bay.
And my apologies, Mr. Melgar, what was the name of the restaurant?
Seal, S-I-L.
And where is that?
That's on 1212 Marine Street.
Any questions for Mr. Melgar?
Did you just take that over? Is that by Zeller Skis?
Yes, I took that about 2 years ago. It used to be Mario's Cafe, and then it was Sandra's. So I bought it from Sandra's. But I've been owning that for 2 years. I just renewed the license. This is my second term, I believe so, and the liquor license over there.
Between Cocos and...
Alderman
Oh,
Stark.
I'm sorry, I thought you pointed at me. Sorry.
He beat you to it.
Yep, that's fine, that's fine.
I was just gonna ask, what legal is, that's in Alloway, isn't it?
No.
That's in Green Bay?
It's in
It's
on the
right on
border.
the border.
It's on the border,
it's
I know
like
that.
The parking lot, I think, is Aloes.
It's in Green Bay.
Is it in Green Bay? Okay.
Yeah, it's
Have
right
you
next
had-
to Sellers, I'm sorry.
Well, you've had this for 2 years now. Have you
Yes.
had any issues there?
No one.
I was gonna ask police or legal if there's been anything at all. Nothing that you know of?
I'm sorry.
Any issues
Any-
with
Seals?
the current
Any issues
restaurant?
at that restaurant?
No, nothing at the
Nothing?
current
Okay.
restaurant, no.
Alderman, anything else?
Okay, so that's it for now.
Alderman Gannon?
Okay, between Cocos and Seals, was there any other business that you were involved with, or?
Not in Green Bay, no. Actually, I own my janitorial business. I own it since I was 19 years old, which is a franchise of Pro One Janitorial. And that's actually, until this point, I still have that franchise with me. I employ about 10 employees, basically, right now. And, but I had that. I managed that all these years, and beside that, I haven't had any other business in Green Bay. I moved after Cocos. I moved to Arkansas to start or be partnered to a staffing business. So we hire people, put them to work in the different areas, different type of jobs. And about 2008, 2009, I came back to Green Bay.
Couldn't get away, couldn't stay away, huh?
I just can't. I don't know. It's something about the weather. And this bar that I'm trying to open, basically what we're looking at is a tropical bar. When I say tropical bar, I mean about drinks. Have gourmet drinks where you can go and you probably go and have a margarita someplace, but we want to make it the old-fashioned margarita with the real fruit. If you're gonna make a pina colada, make it the old way, a mojito, that kind of stuff. But also in the background, be playing some salsa music. Also give the clientele the opportunity to learn how to dance salsa or merengue, that kind of stuff. So just kind of teach them at the same time, and it's a little bit different than what Coco was before. And Coco was about, I want to say, 10 years ago. It was a long time ago.
Did you have a question, Alderman Dwayne? Sorry, I missed that.
Did you, are you having any troubles financing this? Is because of the back taxes and stuff?
No, sir. No.
Is there anybody else involved with financing you?
Yeah, I have somebody who's helping me out, believe in the project and stuff like that, very much investing into the business. He's not a partner, it's just most like a personal type of loan that we're gonna be working on if this goes on. But I do believe that, I'm a business person. Yeah, hopefully, I know I own taxes, I've done some things wrong, but I need to generate money to be able to pay, because I don't owe $10, I don't owe $5, So, in a way, for me, if I lose a business, I'm gonna go and try to open another business because that's who I am, and I need to generate that capital to be able to keep paying my bills and my obligations, And I know, it's my responsibility to pay my taxes and all that. But sometimes things goes wrong.
So who's helping you find it? What's his name or her name?
His name is Manuel. He's basically doing the loan, and in the meantime, he's a well-known DJ around the area. And if this goes through, he will run the bar, help me run it he's gonna be like GM. I'll be there, like I say all the time. But between both of us, we're gonna just try to make a better service, a better bar for the community.
Is Manuel his first name or last name?
His first name.
What's his last name?
Manuel. I don't recall his last name at this point. He's right here with me right now. He's sitting right there. So.
Lopez, L-O-P-E-Z.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions, Alderman Dwayne?
No.
Alderman Strayer?
Okay, Mr. Melgar, this 301 South Broadway, refresh me what building that is right now. What's there right now?
It used to be the Crunchy
Frog.
Frog.
Okay, you're right, okay,
Yeah.
that was brought up before, all right. What has, can I ask what on Broadway or some of the folks that are down there, how have they accepted you?
I just talked to a few bars down there, and I haven't talked to the owners. I talked to bartenders, like Gasoline, the Hale, something like that. I was down there, close to where I'm gonna be. And they really believe that, a change, bring more crowd down in that area of the street. It will really benefit all the bars around.
Now, I'll ask you and then also police on this, as far as a business plan, was there something submitted? That
Yeah, I believe Officer Shade.
He was talking about that?
Yeah, he went through it with them.
Yeah, I talked to him.
About cameras.
Okay, well, I figured that there was something in place, but I think that would be important as far as where you're located, as far as, on Broadway and some of the businesses there, what their take is on that. And I realize that a lot of these businesses aren't privy to all the situations that you may have had in the past. And I was going to talk, and I was looking at this list here, you've got a number of things that happened from 2004 to 2005, 2, 4, 6, 8. And then you've had 2 in 2014. Can you just talk a little bit about the operating while intoxicated on March of 2014? That's listed here.
Yeah,
I just want your description of what might have happened.
No, I guess, I have a few drinks and I thought I was smart enough to drive, and I did, and I know I did wrong. I made that mistake, but since that point I've been keeping myself clean, because I cannot afford that. I have a kid, I have 2 kids. I have a 17 years old who right now have leukemia. And he lives with me. His mom doesn't live with me, so I have to be there for him, and I have to pay out of my pocket for his medication, because I guess they assume I make way too much money to get any help.
No, and I appreciate your candor on that. You're bringing up some good points. But ultimately, our committee has to look at responsibility and accountability. So we're looking at the entire citizenry of Green Bay is relying on us to make the right decisions. So, and we do give second chances, as we've mentioned in the past. But I don't have any more questions right at this time. I still need to mull this over a little bit. but-
Thank you, Alderman Story. I did have one question, for now at least. Your restaurant, what are your hours?
We're open Monday, actually I'm closed right now on Mondays because of the winter time, but Tuesday through Friday from 11 till 2. And then we close and reopen 5 to 9 and Friday and Saturday until 10. I'm only open on Saturday right now on the winter time, 5 to 10.
And your summer hours are longer?
They are longer,
Okay.
yes. Yes, because right in the area where we are, in the winter time is really slow and the traffic, we don't have the traffic that other places would have.
Thank you, Alderman Story.
I was gonna ask, is there outdoor, you have an outdoor patio in the
Yes,
back?
we do. Yeah, we have an outdoor patio. And you're talking about the restaurant or the bar?
The bar,
No,
that's indoor, okay.
everything is indoor.
Okay.
The restaurant have an outdoor patio because it's right next to the river.
I think that's an issue that we're still talking about, you know, as far as outdoor patio and that. I think we're dealing with that, but that's all I have for now.
Any other questions? Anything else you wanted to add, Mr. Melgar?
No, the only thing that I just want to say that if we look back when I used to run Coco's, it was a big bar. It is a big bar because I mean it's where Store Up is right now. It's the 2 buildings. We're talking about 3 times of the customers that this bar would have. A small business is really much easy to manage, to control, you know, than a larger quantity of customers on a daily basis. That's all I have to say.
Thank you.
But,
Anyone else here for this item?
Care to?
Anybody else here for this item?
Oh, I just like to mention.
But if you could just come up and get your name and address so we can,
Okay.
we
Make it
record our
official.
meetings, otherwise we won't be able to hear it. Thank you.
I'm Manuel Lopez. I'm living in,
I'm sorry, can I get your name again?
Manuel Lopez.
Okay.
I'm living in,
Your middle name, Mr. Lopez?
It's an O.
Oh, Manuel O. Lopez, thank you, I appreciate it.
Yes, I'm living in South Fisk, 140 apartment number 21. I'd like to mention about this bar. The difference is going to be in this bar for the community is we really want to show this community what about is the tropical drinks and enjoying is not only drinking. Drinking is part of the party, yes, but part of the party comes to when you want to have a fun with your wife, when some good security in the place, with some good music that you can learn. And one of the big thing there is going to be the difference about mixing drinks for everyone. I myself will be comfortable to bring a product to this city. Is when like you want to go with your girlfriend, wife, friends to enjoy and save. Pretty much it's gonna be a place not only for get drunk. No, we're looking for something to everyone can enjoy. And definitely in our management, I'm sorry about my English.
That's okay.
It's my second
All
language.
right.
Controlling about the amount of alcohol we're gonna give to the customers, we're gonna be really strict in that. So if anyone is really not have enough alcohol, we're gonna have that at that point it's stop to drinking. You can stay, we can say, but you cannot be served more liquor. That way we try to keep the place nice to everyone enjoy it. We're not gonna be millionaires if you wanna sell another couple drinks with that guys. We will create a problem if we keep serving that person. So we're gonna be really strict about security. Security is we don't wanna allow people there. First time they do it, last time they be there. And we really want to be in touch with the police department about anything happen there. Everything like to be so clear for once again to be so enjoyable for everybody, not for Latinos. So we try to offer how you learn to dance salsa, merengue, Brazilian music. I'm already talked to these people from Oshkosh. They're gonna teach in the place some specific days. We're not sure exactly why, but it depends on how it's gonna be our schedule. Those people that have been teaching lessons for more than 20 years. So it's something we want to bring to the community, something different to really know what is really the Latino traditions, not only drinks.
So, Mr. Lopez, are you
Yes.
the bar manager, or you will be the bar manager, it sounds like?
I'm gonna be the manager about, not really on controlling pretty much everything is in the floor with my friend Walter. Pretty much, we're gonna be
I
in
just had
touch.
one question, was
Yes, go ahead.
Mr. Lopez on the application?
I don't remember.
I don't know, I didn't look at that application.
It's not in it. I was looking for the packet. It's not there.
Were you listed, when the application came through, were you listed as one of the managers, or? 'Cause I don't
think I
recall
did.
seeing you on there, but,
I think I did, if I'm not mistaken.
okay.
Don't bank me in that, but I think I did. Somehow, and they wrote it down, it was going to be a GM.
Appreciate it. We did have a couple questions, if you don't mind, we'll just work our way around here. Alderman Dwayne?
Thank you, Mr. Lopez, for coming here.
Thank you.
I guess I don't understand, you're gonna be financing Mr. Walter, but he didn't know your last name, I just didn't.
One of our culture, we always can be really close about even for my own family. Sometimes you don't even know the person name, but you that close is your brother, because we are for the person. So I know Walter since he opens a Cocos. I'm not because he's here, but for myself is a respectable person. Latinos, we believe a lot in the word. When I say I will be there, it's because I will be there. And this enough for me. I believe in people. I believe in financing. Once again, is something I take in my chances to helping them.
Thank you.
Alderman Sawyer, and then we'll come back. Let's keep it.
Even just one or two.
I see it's the one.
I just have one, actually.
Go.
Yeah.
Um,
The salsa lessons. Yeah, we'll be on Thursdays.
You do a dance?
Sure. What is your background for business? Have you been involved before with running or other bars or restaurants or anything of that?
Not really, but I went to school in Mexico for management, but in here it's not bad. I have to go again to school, and
Mhm.
right now I have family to support, and I have to work, and I can't just go to school and forget about my kids. So, and my experience is it's a musician and a DJ. I've been running in different places out of the state and the state, and pretty much I'm doing this for around 16, 17 years. Not only in small places, bigger places, 2,000 people holding a party night, some others really small. And I think people like me is the job I do. It's a really, what I do is, for myself, is fun because I'm enjoying it. And I'm running a business. I run my own equipment. It's for, I hire 4 people to just help me to load up, connect it, and make sure everything's running okay. I think that business is considered a business.
Thank you. Alderman Sawyer.
Okay, thanks again, Mr. Lopez, for coming in. And that threw me a little bit too on the not knowing the name, but that helped explain it a little bit. You may have mentioned this, how long have you known Mr. Melgar? Associate?
I worked for him when he was at Cocos for a little bit.
Okay. So you
Yeah,
knew-
and I wasn't really involved in any legal thing there. That's
Okay.
how we met, because he heard about my job, and
So you met him
Since
through?
then, yeah,
You
we
met him
met
through
him, and
Cocos?
we got a really good relationship, and I know his son. I know his wife, and we pretty much, I'm separate, but our families was really together. So,
Okay, I'm gonna keep going, I got a couple more. How many employees were mentioned would be there? Did they mention that before? About 10?
For the bar?
Yeah,
at the bar, yeah.
about 10, okay. Yeah, I guess one of the concerns I have is that, you know, I know it's been a number of years, but there were a number of problems at Cocos, you know, and
Yes.
I know that there were people that came in from outside of the city that came in, to my recollection, if I'm not misspeaking. And I just remember that there were police issues and things like that. I mean, how can you assure us that this will be a safe place? I mean, I guess I'm really appealing to your sense here.
What I'm trying to say about, we will be more control about, definitely Cocos was a really big bar. And it's not different to control 300 people or control 100 people. So, and everybody make mistakes, everyone. And one of the things the humans is make mistakes. But everyone, I think, can have a second opportunity, because after years, you learn. Him and I, we're not 17-year-olds not anymore, and we know about mistakes we make, and we learn for the hardest way to fix it. And definitely that is what the second opportunity we need to show the city of Green Bay it's some good place to go and enjoy, because we have the tools in our hands, and we have for sure the control of it.
Okay, that's all I have for now, but those are my concerns at this time.
Thank you, Alderman. Alderman DeWitt.
I have another question for Walter.
Any other questions for Mr. Lopez?
No,
Thank you, sir.
thank you.
Appreciate it.
Remember Thursday?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Thanks, Walter.
Yeah, you're welcome.
When you ran Cocos, who helped you finance that at the time?
I did it myself.
All by yourself?
Yes, I had a really good cleaning business at that time. I was generating about $80,000 to $90,000 a month just in the cleaning. So I did that myself, and when it was good back then, it's not like that anymore.
I was gonna ask you for sign up.
All right.
I had 25 employees and stuff like that, but also I had a really good opportunity, because that place used to be the Velvet Room, and the owner got in a little bit of trouble, so the bank literally took everything away from him, pretty much closed the building. So I bought, they sold me for like $45,000, everything. It was inside like stereo and everything, so that really helped a lot. So I literally bought from the bank everything.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
I have one
Alderman
question.
Stride.
Is this time sensitive? I mean, if this is something that we delayed for a month, or are you under a time frame here? Like anything else, you want to open early, as early as you can?
Yeah, it's just the owner of the building. I mean, she wants, because if we don't, then she needs to find a different tenant or different. So she's kind of, we are like, okay, we signed the lease completely. Or because if we don't have a liquor license, we don't have a business. If I don't have, it's like if I don't have a seller's permit, I don't care if I have a liquor license. I don't have a business. I cannot sell anything that can be taxable in the state. So yeah, the time frame is really important, but I do understand that. All the consideration and the situation. I know it's a little touchy. In our case, this is something that I've been talking to Manuel a lot, is that security. We need to hire a really good professional security, so we don't step in the same steps that I did last time, and like I said before, and We all make mistakes. And some follow us throughout our years, it's on our records. We cannot get those out of our shoulders. And
Thank you. Any other
That's all.
questions?
That's all I've got.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Mr. Melgar. Anyone else here for this item? Anybody else?
Motion to close the floor?
Motion by Alderman Steuer.
Second.
By Alderman Scannell to close the floor. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And as far as we know, their security plan, everything is fine for their new business? There's just the past history that we're concerned
Yeah,
about?
we're concerned about the past history and some of the things that the officer brought up. The security plan, I think he met with Melgar a couple weeks ago, and they were talking about bringing in video and some other stuff, so I think that's all.
Okay, well, I make a motion to, what exactly is the item? To approve. I make a motion to approve.
Motion by Alderman
To
Scannell
license,
I'll
yes.
to approve. Is there a
second
second?
with discussion.
Second by Alderman Dwayne. Alderman Dwayne.
I'm not ready to approve this at this time after listening to the law enforcement department and our law department. But we could talk more at our city council meeting. I'm listening to them at this time, so I'm not.
Well, I'm ready to approve this for several reasons. One, it did happen quite some time ago. Now, it's true he hasn't a bar history in between to which we can compare it to, but it has been a length of time. And he does have a restaurant that does serve alcohol that has not had any troubles. It's not a bar, but it's still an establishment with alcohol. They talked about learning from mistakes, and it sounds like they have. They're taking into account things that they've done before. They want a smaller venue. They have a vision. I think that's what impresses me more than anything is their vision for this bar. I think that's very unique. I think it shows a lot of thought. I think it shows a lot of commitment. I think they realize they need to. Security's a concern and will make a big difference in how the bar operates, and it's something they learned from running Coco's. I think the mistakes they've made, they have shown how they're going to take into account. So given the length of time, given what their plan, which I think addresses a number of the issues I would normally be concerned with here, and their vision for their establishment, sounds intriguing, and I think they deserve a shot.
Thank you, Alderman Scannell. Alderman Steuer.
Thank you, Chair. Well, we've been talking about this for a while, and I think we're looking at the past, some of the things that have happened and some of the concerns we have. One thing I think in your benefit is the location. I feel that, Broadway is a highly traveled area. There's a lot of foot traffic. It won't be a secret where you're at, so people will see you, and if there are issues or problems, those will come forward. You are optimistic. I appreciate, I think a lot of other people might have given up and just said, enough. But I think you're coming in with a new attitude, a good attitude. Like I said, we always look at accountability and responsibility with this committee, and that's something that we're putting our trust into you, and it's important that you bring that trust back to us so that we can trust the whole situation. So I'm leaning with Alderman Scannell on this as well, and we'll be watching, but we think that I think we're good here.
Thank you, Alderman. I would recommend whatever we do here that you go to council in 2 weeks. Confident it might not, but it'll probably come up for discussion. This bar, I sat on this committee, like I was the chair back then too. And I think, Walter, you remember, it was 3 years of
You were a
some
lot
issues.
younger too.
Yeah, it was, I'm sorry, what was that? I was a lot younger, yeah. I was. You're right there, a lot more grays. It was a lot of issues. I mean, what's on here, there were probably more than that. It seemed like nonstop issues, and I would hope you learned. I mean, you had a restaurant in the last couple of years, but not open real late, so it's not a real good comparison. There's a few things I need to look into that I learned here tonight, so I'm not ready to vote for approval tonight, but within the next 2 weeks, I'll be reaching out and looking into these myself, with PD and maybe yourself. So I'm gonna vote no tonight. Maybe the next 2 weeks I'll get the answers I want, but right now I'm not comfortable just based on the issues that we experienced in the past. So. Any other comments?
There's more than this sheet.
I'll go.
Or,
All right, those in favor?
Well, I'm gonna go with aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nay.
Okay, split.
All right, it was 2-2, so it's going to go to council with no recommendation. I have a feeling it will be brought up, so if you could be there,
Yeah.
I'm sure council will have questions, and we'll go from there. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
That was our last item. Motion to adjourn
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
by Dwayne, second by Scannell. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion
I
carried.
got another meeting.
What are some of the things you're gonna look at? I didn't know it was 3 years ago. Come on, I didn't hear that.
4, 5, 6. Even 3 years.
Oh, but I know, but yeah, but this doesn't list much for those number of times.
I want to check on this.
I didn't want to go on record and say exactly what they
Where's that
were because I
oversight?
don't know what we were there.